Now, the situation is this: you guys are feeling trapped in the trapped because you're not sure if the decisions that you're going to make forward, moving forward, are really what you really is really what's going to make you happy. Pretty much, like for some of you guys, this Four of Cups does indicate kind of like apathetic apathetic decision making, not apathetic decision making, but you're feeling apathetic regarding the choices that you've got around you. I think you're looking a lot at what you can do, what you know, versus taking, just trusting your intuition and going with that. Now, the thing is, when I say that, because I had somebody comments recently on intuition, when your reader says, follow your intuition, it means that you need to make a decision based off what makes you feel good for you. Because the last thing you want someone to do is tell you what to do, and then you go down that path and you don't like it, right? And it's not to say that, you're not gonna like my decision, so make it yourself. It's not that. Like it's not like that. Take your power back. Stop looking for people to make it for you. And I don't think this is what you guys are doing here. But I just pretty much when I say trust your intuition, go with what you feel. I can't tell you what you feel. And I can't go into your heart and make the decision that would be best for you. Only you know that. Only you can feel it. And this is one of those things where you have to make a decision based off of what feels good to you. What do you want to do? What do you want to feel? What do you want to experience? Because you have the Two of Wands here that's crossing that as well. And that's not a difficult decision. You just can't move forward anymore. Why you can't move forward? Because you hit the rock bottom. You hit the end. You hit the worst of the worst. You're going through a really difficult time right now, Libra, with the Ten of Wands. Ten of Swords, rather. Ten of Wands, too. Dropping a burden, but I think there's something you need to drop at this time, and I think it's this ending here that's a great big deal. Excuse me, but the worst is over. You can't get any lower than this, but I feel like you guys are holding on to something, and I think it has to do with your security. Right? Because you want to feel safe, you want to feel stable, and right now there's not a lot of stable stuff. The Four of Cups rather, is the only thing that's keeping you stable, but that's it. And that's not really a stable that anybody wants to really feel, because it's boring. It's motionless. It's not moving. But there can be movement. There can be progress, but it comes from you. It has to come from you making a decision. I don't know if somebody's offered you anything, because the Four of Cups can indicate that rather. It can indicate that somebody's offered you a cup of love and you just don't see it because you're looking at the things that you already been through. You're looking at your situation currently, and you're thinking about what you need to do with that, right? Or how it's not appealing to you, and you can't figure out how to really work that into your day to day. Excuse me. I don't know why my throat is jacked, guys, but anyway. But the Four of Cups, man, like that card is the most annoying card I have ever seen, to be honest with you. I'm just gonna be straight up. I hate this card. Why do I hate that card? Because it's like it's not the card itself that I hate, because all the cards are amazing with their messages. I hate the feeling of the card. Not the feeling of the card. I hate that feeling that you get that the card describes. I hate that feeling. And it's not like it's a bad thing. Everybody has to feel something, right? Everything happens for a reason, and it's not a bad thing. The card itself, just make it clear, I don't hate this card. I hate the feeling the card describes, because it's like it's just stuck, and you have to it's just ugh. You don't feel like you have any options, but then you do, right? Because it's hard to really, like, as an intuitive reader as well, like, it's hard to sometimes trust your intuition when you got a lot of shit going on around you. And that's what it looks like here. Like, even though it's dead quiet and it's silent, there's still a lot of stuff going on up top, still processing everything you just went through. So yeah, the world around you may be silent and stiff, but you still got a lot of stuff going on up top. A lot of stuff that you're having to digest. That was difficult for you to digest. Especially with that Ten of Swords there. It's hard. And there's nothing going on. It's just like it's like you've been in the dirt for some time now. Or you've been in the dirt and nothing's happening. No recovery, no nothing. And it's because you have to look towards other things. You have to face, you have to shift your focus away from the problem. Away from the Ten of Swords. And I think a lot of us are focusing on where we are in the dirt, right? Where we've been wronged, where we've been hurt, where that thing has completely ended or something stopped abruptly, right? I think we're looking at and trying to figure out why the hell it happened like that. Because everything was going smoothly, everything was perfect, everything was fine. There was a great balance, things were going in a very harmonious fashion, things were fine. Then all of a sudden something just badoom, explosion. Something just stopped. And instead of us trying to figure out what the hell happened, which is unfortunate because I don't think we're ever going to really know. We're never going to really understand. We're not going to really get that clear understanding of what the heck just went down. And that's okay because that's not going to keep us from moving forward. And I know a lot of us wants to figure out why the hell this even went down, so we don't do this again, so it won't happen again. But I feel like in order for us to be able to make sure we don't do X, Y, and Z, we have to just kind of move on. Because at this point, there's nothing really giving us a clear picture as to what is going on. And usually the Ten of Swords is like the ultimate clarity card, I feel. When things are very clear, who's your people, what people sided with you and who didn't, right? Because this is like the ultimate betrayal card, and people stabbing you in the back. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that physically somebody stabbed you in the back. It just could be that, you got a clear understanding as to what is going on. But sometimes some things just end and you don't get it. You don't know, right? You're just there left in the battlefield dead. And it's like, it hurts. It doesn't feel right, but it's like one of those things, right? Those lessons that we learn, we'll understand the further we move on. But right now we can't figure out we can't figure out why it's happening because we don't have the full picture. We don't have the full story. At the same time, it probably won't click to us what went down because we are still here figuring it out. So what we need to do is make a decision about where we're going to go next, where we're going to go now. Because we've hit the bottom of the bottom, sure, yes, that's the worst. But we can only go up from here. So it's like, let's make the best out of this. And you have the world here, which offers a reward, not necessarily a reward, but it's Saturn's gift, right? And usually we complete a cycle out. And we are given a gift from Saturn. It's a lesson that will never be taken from us. It won't be ever be taken from us. And I feel like with the world coming up here, this is talking about a successful completion, but not a successful completion per se, because I think you guys hit a really hard ending to something, but I think this is you transitioning from one phase to the next, and that gift you will understand the further when you transition, when you go into the new that new phase, right? When you continue to move forward. Now, what's interesting that I'm getting for your advice with the Six of Cups isn't that you need to look at your past and remember that good times can happen again, which definitely can, and it's not saying that it isn't saying that. I definitely feel like there is the potential for great happiness in any moment, anytime. You just have to take action. I feel like also it's saying let the past go. And it's really weird. It's saying like there's some things about the past here that will help motivate you to move forward. Let those dreams continue to move forward. But the parts of the past that that will keep you hung up, you may have to release those so you can make a new future. Take the good pieces. Take the pieces of it that will inspire you, that will empower you forward. Because there's always pieces of the past that we need to take with us to help us move forward. The lessons that we need, the lessons that we learned along the way that will help us move forward. But there's also some pieces of the past that will make us feel like we'll never be happy again. There's some things that are discouraging, and those pieces you have to understand that is untrue. And at the same time, I mean, it could be true for you, and if that's your truth, then, that's your truth. But at the end of the day, there's pieces of the past here that can't come with you. And that's okay. There's pieces of the past that you just have to say, you know what? You were meant for this point in my life at one point, right? You had a phase, you had a period. You can't be with me no more. And I can't take you with me because I have to find new happiness. I have to find new inspirations. I have to build a new me. Because until you let this go, That's not all of it, just the pieces that are holding you back right now. The progress will begin. The perspective that you're being led to see right now will perhaps be seen a lot sooner. Because right now, there's stagnancy. There's no movement. None of this, right? There was waiting and waiting and waiting, then bop. And now now you have to figure out what you're gonna do next. And the only way for things to get moving again is after you make the decision to take, whichever direction you decide to take from where you are now. And it's not a judgment. It's not a blame, and it's anything like that. It's just saying here, guys, this is your moment to shine, to pick the path that you want to take. Not go on anybody else's path, not follow anybody else's rules. This is purely your creativity, your sense of self, your uniqueness. Take that road and go on it. And you have the Ace of Wands here, which is exciting. It's really exciting. And I know every beginning is an exciting beginning. And of course it is. It's exciting. But this one here I feel like this is the surging of passion, surging of your true authentic self, your creative energy. But it's also your fire. That get up and go energy. And I feel like with that Ace of Wands, it's saying like you just have to take action and start something new. But you have to be the person to start new. You can't wait for it to come this time. And that's why the Four of Cups is the heart of your reading. It's like you have to shift your focus to what you want to feel, so you can let that be your guiding star. Because right now, focusing on what the hell happened, or looking at what at the fact that you've been dead in the dirt, or you've been, something just happened abruptly that you didn't see coming, or maybe you did see it coming. Too many cards. If you just focus on the Ten of Swords, if you focus on this ending that you're experiencing, then then it's going to be harder to make a decision. Not impossible, it's just a lot harder. And two, it's understandable to honor your emotions. If you're feeling sad, don't romanticize this. Go ahead and feel, cry, let that shit out. Drop those burdens of how you're feeling. Like, don't let your feelings bottle up. But once those emotions have flown, it's time to fly. All right. So let's go and see what you guys got from the wisdom of the Oracle. Hard message this time. And I was hard on Leo, and I feel bad for being so hard on Leo this time around, but everybody seems to need to get a little push. Not a hard push, but a little push this week, because it's hard. Not for you. Damn, I was not hoping to see this card, but yep. Not for you. That's a hard one. Who else got that? I think it was Aries, but I can't remember. I did so many. And not for you does talk about rejection is God's protection. And right now, it looks like you may have been rejected on something. Something may have happened where you have been rejected. And that could make sense why something happened and just ended. And you're trying to figure out why you've been rejected. There's no point. And I'm not saying that to be cold or rude, but there's no point, because it's not going to help you move forward right now. Everything is like, if that was the case, then the Four of Cups wouldn't be coming up like that. But you're looking at the problem. And it's like, unfortunately, you may not have done anything wrong. Right? Fortunately, you may not have done anything wrong. Maybe nothing actually was a problem. Have you thought about that? Because that's what the Knight, not for you card talks about. But rejection is God's protection. Because God is always like, hey, you know what? There's something better out here for you. Let's go find that instead of you settling for something else. And it's not to say that you were settling, and it's not to say anything bad about what you were doing. It's God's way of redirecting you, right? There's some things that are in your control. Divine timing is definitely showing up in the past here. But remember, right? You may not have been the issue. Nothing may not have been the problem. It just may not have been that person's cup of tea. It may not have been the right time. It's a situation. It may not have had any problems, right? But if you do know them, you know them, right? It is what it is. For those of you that know what's going on, or know why it happened, etc., that's cool. If you need answers, go ahead and seek out those answers. But remember that the situation may have been outside of you, and that's perfectly fine. And that gives you even more incentive to find a new and go forward. because the situation may not have been your fault, right? That's the fortunate part, right? If you don't know what the problem is, the problem has nothing to do with you. You know, that's my default. If I don't know what the hell happened, it's probably not me. And I think that's what Not For You is trying to say. It's like, whatever went down, don't worry about it, because I don't think it's really had anything to do with you there. And if it did, this person would have made it known so. Not in a way where it was, harsh. Well, if the Ten of Swords is harsh, but you'll know why it happened. But if you don't know why it happened, if you're still trying to like focus on figuring that out, hey, it may not have been you, boo. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. And look at that. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. That's exactly what I was saying. What was I saying before? Remember, I said maybe it's just not the time. It's redirecting you. What is there really? Maybe it's not the right time right now. Maybe that's why you got stopped. Maybe that the situation halted for a little bit. But it's coming. Whatever you're manifesting, it will come. But it will take more work. It will take a little bit of a different direction. And trust me, you'll understand. I feel like why it happens when you go forth. And I'm not trying to say this to be condescending, because I don't know that the fuck it happened. Trust me, I don't know. A lot of stuff happens to me in my life, and I don't figure it out until later on. So it's not me saying, oh, you'll figure it out when you're older, or you figure it out when you have kids, or you'll figure it out when you're an elder. I'm not trying to say that shit. What I am trying to say, though, is that you will probably understand it. And from a human to human perspective, not a reader, not a psychic, not, just your girl from Venus Archangel, Sia, talking to you, my Libra family. You may just have to, maybe you'll understand what happened later, and that will be your gift, right? It's hard to see it right now, and I know, don't choke me out. Don't be mad at me. But it's hard to see right now, but I really think that you guys will prosper and you have something bigger and better than this situation, whatever this was. And the Nine of Pentacles could be talking about also like pulling you outside of your comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get outside of your comfort zone. And I feel like it's reflecting onto you, your independence and your sustainability. Because you got some good foundations laid out that you put up yourself. And I feel like the biggest thing is to recognize how much you've put into this. And how much you can put into anything that will make it just shine. Whether that's a relationship, career, life path, whatever.